Then coming to the next term, after the balanced and the unbalanced forces, the next thing we are going to discuss is a term that is inertia. It is inertia. It is the basic property of everything, of all the objects. Inertia. Suppose in our daily life we are seeing many things. In our daily life activity, we are pulling something or pushing something or lifting or shifting the object from one place to another place. So many activities are taken place. We are observing and we are experiencing the activities. In all the activities, the force must be applied. The force is required. Without the force, the activity cannot be taken place. While the force is applied by any agent, we take ourselves as an agent. If I am doing any activity, myself is an agent. So I pull a chair. So I am applying the force. With that force, the chair may or may not come in motion. But while applying the force, here we take once again the same object. This is an object. In this, the force is applied. The force is applied from this object. And this force may or may not change the state. Here it is at rest. This force may be able to move the object or may not be. Two things are possible. Suppose if this force is moving the object, is able to move the object, we are taking this is F1, this is able to move the object. Now in the another case, we are going to apply by replacing this F1, we use the force F2. Now F2 also may or may not change its state. If F2 is not able to change the state, not able to move the object, but F2 is applied, though it is applying on the object, it is not moving, it is not coming in motion. Why it is not coming? For F2, the object is not coming in motion. Why? Definitely there must be something which opposes this F2. And that something is coming from where? It comes from definitely from the object itself. So that means every object is having the tendency to oppose the applied force. Whenever we apply any force on any object, that object has the tendency to oppose the force applied. Because it is at rest. The object is at rest, it always have the tendency to remain in the same state. It is a nature. That's why this object is opposing. And that property, we can say it is the inherent property. It is the inherent property of every object. And with that inherent property, it opposes the applied force. On the other hand, if a ball is rolling on the ground, it is moving on the ground in this direction. To stop the ball, we have to apply the force in the opposite direction. Suppose the force is applied from this direction. And that force applied in the opposite direction may or may not stop it. If we are not applying force, it continuously be in motion, because it has the tendency to move in the same direction with the same velocity until the opposite force is not applied. So that means every object tends to remain in the same state of motion or rest. It is because of this property, inertia. So inertia is the inherent property of any object to resist to change its state. To resist, refuse or resist, we can use. Every object has the tendency to resist to change its state. If we are not applying force, it remains at the same position. If we are not applying the force in the opposite direction, it remains in the same condition of motion. Even if we apply the force, in the beginning it opposes that applied force. That tendency to oppose the applied force is known as inertia. So inertia is the inherent property of every object, whether the object is small or large. If the object is small, then its mass mass is small. For smaller object, mass is smaller. For bigger object, mass is greater. So that means the inertia is measured, the inertia of any object is measured by its mass. If mass is greater, then greater force is required to change its state. Here also, if its mass is greater, greater force is required to change its state. So, greater is the mass, greater the inertia. Smaller is the mass, smaller the inertia. Suppose a cyclist is coming towards you, directly is going to hit you. In that case, if you are strong enough, you can stop it. You can stop the cyclist. If instead of cyclist, if a car is coming towards you, in that case, you may not be able to stop the car. It is because the cyclist has less inertia and the car has greater inertia, because the mass is differing. For the greater mass, greater inertia means greater force is required. Smaller mass, smaller inertia, less inertia, so smaller force is required. So this is about the inertia. Then in the next class, we will discuss some more thing about inertia, because inertia is not single. There are different types of inertia. We will discuss in the next class.